Coordinator at Wildlands Trust. Thank you so much for having me here today. I'm super excited to talk to you about the work that we do here. Who is familiar with Wildlands Trust by a show of hands? Excellent. So I get to introduce most of the room to the work that we do here. So Wildlands Trust is a nonprofit organization that works throughout southeastern Massachusetts to protect and steward lands that sustain people and wildlife, and to connect our communities to the natural world. As a regional land trust, Wildlands Trust protects land over a service area of 1,500 square miles and helps to protect over 14,000 acres in 55 towns in southeastern Massachusetts. I'd like to share a little history about Wildlands Trust. Wildlands Trust was founded in 1973, so yes, we are over 50 years old, super exciting. And we were founded by Leona Asker and a group of citizens concerned about land development in Plymouth County. We had our first property donation, which was from the Emery family, which would later become known as Emery Preserve West. And the Plymouth County Wildlands Trust received official nonprofit status. As land holdings grew beyond Plymouth County, the name has changed from the Wildlands Trust of Southeastern Massachusetts to now the shortened Wildlands Trust name. Fun fact, if you go out on our trails, you might see some older signs and you can say, hey, I remember that used to be one of our names. So, from 1995 to 2014, where was Wildlands Trust? We operated out of a small office donated by Helen Gilbert in Duxbury. In December of 2014, we moved to our current headquarters, which is now in Plymouth at Davis Douglas Farm. The new headquarters has allowed us to grow both in staff size and acres protected. With a large farmhouse office, it's very gorgeous. I encourage you, if you have the chance to come and check out, we'd love to give you a tour of the area. We have a new vet building, our conservation barn, which is where we hold our indoor programs. And we have a bustling community garden that people from the Plymouth area will come and have their gardens, and a trailhead access to Emery Preserve, which is right across the way. Wildlands Trust truly feels at home and fortunate to be at Davis Douglas Farm. Since moving, Wildlands has expanded our public programming in a conscious effort to connect people to the land in meaningful ways. Our preserves are open to the public for passive recreation, hiking, running, nature study, mountain biking, dog walking, etc. And our programming helps to teach people how to enjoy, respect, and connect for these beautiful landscapes. So, there are quite a few ways to be involved with Wildlands Trust. So, I mentioned our preserves. Our preserves are free, open year-round from sunrise to sunset.
They'd like you to say just a little bit louder.
Just a little louder?
Yeah, don't be either. The mic a little closer. So, yeah. So,
that's okay.
okay, oh, you can, yeah, you can use that wherever you want, yeah.
Get the fans. Okay. How does this sound? Is this a little better? Okay, thank you so much. If you can't hear me at any point or if you'd like me to repeat something, please let me know. Okay. The whole thing. So, there are a few ways to be involved with Wildlands Trust. So our preserves, we have many different preserves across our service region.
There was a quick question where
Yes.
you're located. Apparently, some people didn't hear that you're in Plymouth, yeah.
Yes, we have our headquarters in Plymouth, although we service southeastern Massachusetts across 55 towns and cities. Any other questions at the moment?
When was the first donation?
When was the first donation? So we were founded in 1973, and we had our donation, the first land donation was from the Emery family. There might be a quiz at the end, so I'm taking notes. Okay, so feel free to stop me if you have any questions as well. We'll have a question and answer period at the end. So, our preserves. Is anybody familiar with the preserves we have here in Brockton? We have preserves here right in Brockton. So, our two Brockton preserves are Stone Farm Conservation Area which is on the north side of Torrey Street and west of Pearl Street. And then we have the Brockton Audubon Preserve, which is on the south side of Pleasant Street. And I'd like to tell you a little history about both of these preserves. So a little history about Stone Farm Conservation Area. The land that comprises Stone Farm Conservation Area was originally owned by Dewey Stone, who was a businessman and a philanthropist. Prior to his death in 1977, Stone willed the land to Brockton Conservation Commission, and this parcel makes up 11% of Brockton's total open space. In 2018, the city of Brockton asked Wildlands Trust to restore the trails at Stone Farm and improve public access to the property. Restoration work included cutting back trails, building bog boards, and installing appropriate trail signage so people can navigate on their own. The trails were officially reopened to the public in October of 2019. But before Stone Farm Conservation Area, we started in Brockton with the Brockton Audubon Preserve. So if you've ever been to Brockton Audubon Preserve, you'll see that there's evidence of a grand agricultural history in the area, which can be found with the stone walls, seeing trees that are scarred by barbed wire, and old farm roads throughout the preserve. It was once cleared for pasture, and since the forest has reestablished itself through the natural process of succession over the last century, with most of its trees estimated to be just under 50 years old. And thousands of years ago, at the end of the last ice age, glaciers retreated northward, depositing large boulders called glacial erratics on the landscape. So one noteworthy erratic is located in the main loop trail that intersects the West Elm Connector Trail in the center of the preserve, stands 20 feet tall. It is an awesome sight to walk on the trails and see this huge glacial erratic. It's definitely one of my favorites of the preserve. So in 2011, Wildlands Trust acquired these 126 acres of land on the western boundary of the city of Brockton through a transfer from Brockton Audubon Society. So you might be thinking, Mass Audubon. Not quite. The Brockton Audubon Society was founded in 1919 by a group of residents on a mission to protect birds and stimulate interest in nature study. And over time, active membership dwindled, and the two remaining trustees asked Wildlands Trust to accept a donation of the Brockton Audubon conservation land and assume responsibility for stewardship of the property. So Wildlands renamed the property Brockton Audubon Preserve to honor the group that spent nearly 100 years conserving the land. You can find our trail maps online, and we have a more extensive trail guide for purchase online as well. We also have trail guides here. If you would like to take a trail guide, I highly encourage it, and I'd be able to tell you a little bit more about the trails if you'd like to explore them. And we also have our maps on the Evangelical app, which is an app that allows people to download the trail map and navigate without cell service, which is a great tool, especially if you want to explore the trails on your own. If you'd like to see more information about our preserves, they can be found online at wildlandstrust.org/trails. So, if you're somebody who does not want to go out on the trails alone, we have guided hikes. We have community members can join us at guided hikes and programs that are hosted at our preserves across our service area. So all programs are open to the public, some are free, and others have a small fee to support our stewardship efforts. We also offer financial assistance as well. Hiking programs we host have included full moon hikes, hiking hops where you go hiking, then you can go to a local brewery afterwards. We have mindful meditations, we have family-friendly hikes, and we also have hikes for just good old-fashioned fun. We have indoor programs as well that are hosted at our conservation barn at Davis Douglas Farm in Plymouth. Some recent indoor programs have included an author talk, we had Valentine's card making, and a spring wreath making workshop as well. So I'd love to share all of the programs that we have upcoming. There are two that I would like to highlight. So we have an upcoming Access Nature hike at Brockton Audubon Preserve on Saturday, April 26th from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. We're going to be starting from Hancock Elementary School's entrance, and we'll hike about 2.25 miles. And our route will take us out and back on the West Elm Connector Trail and return via the opposite side of the main loop trail. So we will get to see this 20-foot tall glacial erratic. Sounds pretty cool. This hike is open to ages 5 up and is limited to 15 hikers. So if you'd like to register, please come see me afterwards. And you can also find our events online at wildlandstrust.org/events. So there's another program I'd like to mention in particular. is an upcoming presentation called The Bugs That Bug You. And it's going to be on Wednesday, May 21st from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. This is at our headquarters at Davis Doug's Farm, inside the Conservation Barn. This is a family-friendly informational talk about mosquitoes and ticks with Erin Morrill and Blake Dinius. Erin Morrill is the community liaison for the Plymouth County Mosquito Control Project, and Blake Dinius is an entomologist, an expert on insects for the Mosquito County Extension. Sorry, for the Plymouth County Extension, not the Mosquito County Extension. And following the presentation, we will have an optional question and answer session, and we encourage our attendees to stay and bug our presenters. So more information about these programs and to sign up, again, please visit wildlandstrust.org/events. So beyond our preserves and joining us for a program, if you are interested in volunteering, we also have options for you. We host regular Volun Tuesdays at rotating preserve locations. I know a few of us might have gone to a Volun Tuesday before, so feel free to ask people about those. Volun Tuesdays are led by our stewardship team, and you can help with hands-on projects involving trail maintenance, trash pickup, invasive species removal, boardwalk repairs, and more. There's no experience necessary, and we provide tools as well. You can register for single-day volunteer opportunities as they come up on our events page, and those who are regularly visiting preserves, you might be interested in joining our Adopted Preserve program to help with regular trail monitoring. We also have people who volunteer as photographers, so there's a bunch of different ways you can volunteer, and you can learn more about volunteering at wildlandstrust.org/volunteer. So outside of our regional activities and services, we have some that are dedicated right here to the Brockton community. Wildlands Trust is proud to serve as a nonprofit outreach partner for the Green the Gateway Cities program in the city of Brockton. If you live in the city of Brockton, you qualify for free trees through the Green the Gateway City program. Green the Gateway Cities program provides free trees with a goal to increase the number of trees planted in urban residential areas of the Massachusetts gateway cities. And by increasing tree canopy cover, it will reduce household heating and cooling energy use and beautify neighborhoods at the same time. So as part of the state-funded program, an experienced Department of Conservation and Recreation forester will visit Brockton homes and businesses to recommend the best tree for each property. There are more than 50 species of trees available, each installed by a trained forestry crew, and they stand 6 to 10 feet tall at planting. So you're not receiving a sapling, a little seed, you are getting a full tree that goes into the ground and is installed by these foresters for you. We've worked with homeowners, renters, housing complexes, and businesses to add more trees that beautify and cool the city. So the steps are simple. You set up a site visit. You pick your trees. A DCR forester will plant them, and you water them. So if you're interested, you can call 617-626-1503 or visit maurbancanopy.org to set up a site visit for your home or business. I also have more information over here if you'd like to learn more and get a flyer or sign up today. So, another way that Wildlands Trust has been involved in the city of Brockton, we are proud to be part of the DW Field Park Initiative. DW Field Park is a vibrant city park that serves the community and the environment. And since 2022, partners have worked to create a master plan to address the most popular area of DW Field Park, which is the Oak Street to South Street area, the middle section. So our vision in working on this master plan is to have a revitalization that will promote and improve recreational opportunities, accessibility, and environmental health, along with climate resiliency for the area. So right now, the Phase 1 final plan is now complete, and we're working on funding for implementation to be pursued. So if you'd like to learn more about the DW Field Park Initiative, you can visit dwfieldparkinitiative.org. So along with the DW Field Park Initiative, it brought a renewed youth programming to the city. In 2022, with funding from the initiative, we were excited to move our Plymouth-based Green Team to Brockton. So Green Team is a paid service learning program that engages teens ages 14 through 19 in environmental stewardship in Brockton and the surrounding area. So crew members will complete outdoor projects at DW Field Park, again, which is Brockton's largest park. It serves over 200,000 community members, as well as other local schools and parks. Projects are varied. We have a focus on trail management, ecology, gardening, carpentry, environmental education, and of course teamwork. Daily discussions with local professionals expose crew members to career, volunteer, and civic engagement opportunities. So this summer 2025, Green Team is going to return to Brockton for another season of service learning as part of Wildlands Trust's DW Field Park Initiative. This year's Green Team is offering a July and an August session, and Wildlands Trust and Manomet Conservation Sciences sponsor, design, and lead this program to introduce Brockton area high school students to the conservation field and build their skills through community service. Each session's crew members will have the opportunity to also attend a camp out at our Wildlands Trust Stewardship Center, Stewardship Training Center in Plymouth, and we provide transportation from Brockton to Plymouth, and of course we provide food and fun. Admission to these programs is highly competitive, as we can accept only 12 crew members per session. Applicants who are available for both sessions are encouraged to apply for both to improve their chances of admission. However, applicants will only be hired for one session. We're currently accepting applications, and applications close on April 28th. To learn more and apply, you can visit wildlandstrust.org/green-team-2025. I also have information here if you'd like to take a flyer. It has a QR code and again the information for the program. But we've been supporting youth in Brockton before the introduction of Green Team in 2022. So in collaboration with the Brockton High School Science Department and the environmental educators at Manomet, Wildlands Trust has coached and sponsored the school's Envirothon team since 2015. So we celebrated our 10 years of supporting Brockton's Envirothon team this year. And I'm very proud to be one of the co-coaches for the program. We have wonderful students at Brockton High. They're very engaged and excited for protecting the environment. So it's a great program. So a little more about it. The Massachusetts Envirothon is an environmental education program for high school students that prepares them for environmental careers and active citizenship. Students prepare throughout the school year to compete at a statewide competition. Students compete to show their proficiency across 4 eco-stations. We have soil, water, forestry, and wildlife, and they have to answer written questions and apply hands-on knowledge demonstration. So your Brockton High School Envirothon team students are doing water quality testing. They're taking clumps of soil out and they're doing soil identification. It is very, very empowering for these students and also fulfilling for us to watch as coaches, see their knowledge at the start of the year grow throughout the season and feel ready to take it into action for the competition. So if you have a Brockton High School student who's interested in learning about the environment around them, we meet at Brockton High School on Tuesday afternoons from 2 to 3:30. And for new students who are joining in the fall, stay tuned as we will announce our club meeting dates for next year. Our work is only possible with community support, so people can support Wildlands Trust's mission by becoming involved in the community by joining us at programming or volunteering. You can also support us through donations or by joining us as a member. By supporting through Wildlands Trust membership, you can lend your voice to a mission of Southeastern Massachusetts, which is one that's shared by a diverse community of conservation-minded people across the region. Membership, not only by sharing your voice, you do have some benefits as well. We have discounts at realtors and farms across the region, and you have discounts on Wildlands Trust programming and access to member-only events. You'll have a subscription to our semi-annual newsletter, and you can stay up to date on regional conservation efforts in the community. We'll hope you will join us as a member and lend your voice to the vision that we share. You can learn more about membership at wildlandstrust.org/membership. I'd like to extend appreciation to Anne for having us here, and thank you all so much for having Wildlands Trust come here to present. If you have any questions, I'd love to answer them. Thank you. Yes.
How many people are in your organization?
That's a great question. So the question was, how many people are in our organization? So Wildlands Trust right now is composed of 11 full-time staff members, and then we also have some seasonal staff members and part-time staff members as well. So a lot of the work that we do is definitely supported by our volunteers. So if you can come out for a Volunteers Day, it definitely helps our stewardship team. Thank you. Yes?
Do you have problems sometimes with people picking up from the reserve or anything?
So the question was, do we have problems with people pitching tents on our preserves?
Yeah.
So we've had different situations with people on our property, so our stewardship team is very proactive for those things, and also we have lots of people on our properties, so that doesn't tend to happen that much. Yes?
Do you go to the schools?
Do we go to the schools? So Brockton High School is the school that we are doing our youth programming in, but we're also involved with the elementary schools through Brockton Kids Lead the Way, which is a program that's been building outdoor learning classrooms in some of the elementary schools in Brockton. Yes.
I volunteered to help with one of those in the school. I think it was the Georgia school, and it was fascinating to see the little kids, because they got to plant their own, each grade got to plant their own raised bed and see it grow. And some of it made it, and some of it didn't. But they were just excited to see something grew. And they got on the ground where they put it, so it really helped them out. They had different stations where they had a gun that went around and showed the difference between what would happen if something was in the shade versus in the sun, and how the heat caused and affected things. So it was really good for everybody. They
That's
did a
wonderful.
great job.
Thank you. So the schools that we've supported include St. George School, and then we have Hancock Elementary School, which we supported last year, and then this year we're supporting Raymond Elementary.
And they're right near the park, which,
Yes, they're also right near the park, which is wonderful. So they also have access to DW Field Park as an extension of their outdoor space. With Hancock Elementary School, they're right next to the Brockton Audubon Preserve. So we have a boardwalk that goes right from the school into the preserve, so the school can access it for programming as well. Yes.
How long does the Envirophone team run for?
The Evangelical team, it meets on Tuesdays from 2 to 3:30 p.m., so it's an hour and a half. But as far as the school year, we meet from the very beginning of the school year all the way to the end of the school year. So the competition is in May. So we will be at the school every Tuesday getting ready for the competition. Yeah, thank you for asking. Yes?
How does the school get on their list to go to, like the Kennedy School?
Could I ask a clarifying question? Does that mean for having a school come to us? Does that?
No, we talking about raised bed gardens, etc.
So that was through Brockton Kids Lead the Way, which was a grant program. So we had specific schools that were lined up for the grant program. And right now there's hope to continue, doing more outdoor learning spaces in the future. Yes.
have you been hurt by the cutbacks?
Have you been hurt by the cutbacks? We are very fortunate that we have not been hurt by the cutbacks, but we really are a member-supported organization, so we're very fortunate that we have a wonderful community that is supporting the work that we do. We highly encourage, if you'd like to support that we do at Wildlands Trust, becoming a member, consider donating.
So you don't rely on grants?
We have different grants, but our grants funding is very diversified, which is really, really fortunate for us. Yes.
How much interaction do you have with the Audubon Society?
How much interaction do we have with the Audubon Society? So we've been involved with them in different ways, but as far as programming, we're not necessarily partnering with them for programming, as they have a wonderful array of options. Does that help answer your question?
So you don't like merge programs?
So we do not merge programming. If they have an option for a program, we might connect to talk about brainstorming if we would like to partner for a larger program. We have partnered with other areas to do partnered programming. So Manamet Conservation Sciences is one of our larger program partners. So we have an upcoming bird walk, which is going to be at Shipping Lots Preserve. That's on Saturday, May 10th, if you'd like to come. But we have Manamet Conservation Sciences as a program partner for that, and Wildlands Trust is joining them to support that.
Is there any difference between, say, donating land property to Audubon versus youth? Do you do the same thing? Well, somewhat the same thing?
Yeah, that's a great question. So is there any difference between donating land to Mass Audubon versus donating land to Wildlands Trust? So there's many different options as far as land trusts in the area. We have land trusts who are across the United States. We have land trusts who are statewide. We have land trusts who are regional, which is where Wildlands Trust falls. We're a regional land trust. And there's also land trusts that are very localized to the city or town. So Mass Audubon is a statewide land protection agency, so they would be able to protect land at the state level. Well, they protect land across the state. So we're more regional land trust, so if you'd like to work with us and learn more, I'd be happy to give you connections.
You changed the name, like that area near Christ Congo Church. It used to be Audubon Society, and isn't it Wildland Trust now on the sign there on Pleasant Street?
On Pleasant Street, hold on just a
And
second.
I think it used to say
So-
Audubon run, something, and now it says, I think, Wildland.
So we have the Brockton Audubon Preserve, which is on the south side of Pleasant Street. So that is the Brockton Audubon Preserve, and Wildlands Trust, I believe, has a kiosk there.
Oh, okay. So the Audubon is still there, like? No?
So part of my little history about Brockton Audubon Preserve is that the Brockton Audubon Society, it was a different entity from Mass Audubon. So it just happens to carry the same name. So with the Brockton Audubon Society, their team ended up donating the remaining land to be stewarded by Wildlands Trust. And then in honor of them, we named the property Brockton Audubon Preserve.
I see.
Yes,
So
I
that
caught
was a very nice thing.
yes,
For
it is.
everybody involved.
It was, and we had, in the opening of the property, forgive me if I'm wrong, one of the granddaughters of the original founders of Brockton Audubon Society was able to come out and see the work that we were doing there and help talk to new visitors to the preserve. Thank you for asking. Any other questions or clarifications that I can give? Okay, thank you very much.
Well, thank you.